How's it going, nerds? LionheartPlays here and Matty Ice to the Stone family, and today we're going to be bringing you episode 2 of the Nerd Mentality podcast. And today we're going to be talking about the decline of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's go. All right. So let's talk about it. Matt here is a comic book connoisseur.
Nerd.
He is a nerd of the highest caliber when it comes to comic books. I'm okay in that realm. But we're talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, not the Marvel Universe as a whole. We're focusing on the movies. And lately, we can agree that the MCU has been declining ever since Endgame, really. Honestly, it seems as if Endgame was really the endgame of the MCU.
Yeah, they didn't plan well past Endgame.
Yeah, they did. So let's talk about it. Let's begin with the last great Marvel movie that you've seen.
Well, it's after Endgame, but there's not many. There's only one that's good. And that is the Spider-Man movie, No Way Home.
Okay. So I agree. That one was good. For me, I'm up to date more or less on the latest when it comes to the MCU, and for me it was Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. Spoilers.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that, but we are going to encompass that with everything that's going on. We're gonna give our opinions on how this is gonna work. We're gonna give our opinions on different movies and what they could have done. How they maybe could have organized it a little bit better, and of course this does open, if you guys are comic book nerds, then you guys can definitely place your opinions in the comments and everything, and whatnot. So everything definitely started going downhill the moment Endgame ended.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, with that though, you lost three of your main 6 characters that built the original Avengers.
Yeah.
You know, you lost Iron Man, you lost Cap, and you lost Black Widow. I think that by itself hurt the Avengers as a whole in the MCU, and it also probably made less people want to watch the movies because you've just taken away 3 of the main people we went to go see.
Well, it all has to I guess it also is mainly due to the actors as well, right? Because RDJ mentioned that he doesn't want to be doing Iron Man forever.
Yeah.
You know? And I think the same thing could have been said with Evans as well. He didn't want to be doing Cap the entire time for the rest of his life, which I guess is understandable too. I don't know how old Evans is, but I know that RDJ's, I think he's in his late 40s, if not 50s.
Yeah,
Someone correct me?
He's in his 50s, I believe.
Yeah. So, you know, it's understandable that he would want to explore other ventures there as well.
And from what I've seen, you know, he's going back to Sherlock Holmes to do that one more time as well. He's 57, by the way.
Wow, 57.
Yeah.
I enjoy the Sherlock Holmes movies, by the way. I don't know if you've watched them, but
yeah.
That's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of that has to do with the actors. Some of them have stayed. We have what's his name? Gosh, I can't remember his name.
Thor?
The guy. No.
Hawkeye? Hulk?
Ruffalo.
Yeah, the Hulk.
Ruffalo stayed to play the Hulk. He did She-Hulk, which I haven't seen it, but I heard god-awful stuff about it.
Yeah, well, all their TV shows are trash.
No, not all of them. Not all of them. WandaVision was great. It was slow, but it was great. And Loki was awesome. Those are the only two shows that, in my opinion, were great. The others were absolute shit. Yeah, they are encompassed in the MCU, right? Yeah, they are canon.
Yeah, and the only Netflix TV show that technically counts in the MCU now is Rick, what's it? Daredevil, because Daredevil
I was
shows.
gonna say Daredevil, right?
Yeah, Daredevil shows up, but the thing that means, if that Daredevil is the same as the Daredevil from the Netflix TV shows, then you can go ahead and encompass all the other ones because he did do the Defenders, meaning all the other characters are in the MCU.
Yeah, I think those were scrapped.
Punisher was great.
I haven't seen it.
Daredevil and Punisher were great. So if we're gonna include all of them because Daredevil's in the She-Hulk TV show, then I would say they've got two good TV shows. That's it.
Right.
And that's not including the two you said.
Yeah. So I think that not Disney. Well, technically Disney. Marvel using the shows to build up Kang. I think they're trying to build up Kang as the next Thanos.
He is.
Yeah.
Kang the Conqueror, because they announced Avengers: The Kang Dynasty for 2025.
Sorry guys, sniffles are out of control, and my allergies all over the place. But yeah, I did hear. But you said Avengers: Kang Dynasty.
The Kang Dynasty, yeah, he's gonna be the big bad in that one.
Okay, yeah.
And then my opinion on what they're going to do is they're actually splitting the Avengers. We're gonna have two different groups of Avengers, or we're gonna have one group for the Kang Dynasty movie, but then that group's gonna show up in Secret Wars, because they have already said Secret Wars will have the largest cast of heroes we have ever seen.
That's interesting. I wonder who they're gonna bring. They kind of split the Avengers up already, technically, between Infinity War, and then they saw them bring them back together.
Yeah.
In Endgame. So I'm interested in how they're going to be employing a different tactic with all that, with Kang Dynasty. But yeah, so they're using the TV shows to build Kang up, and I'm not sure that they're doing too good of a job with it. I think Loki did a good job in introducing us to Kang and showing us and all that good stuff. I think WandaVision just set up for the Doctor Strange movie,
which was god awful.
The Doctor Strange movie. The Doctor Strange movie was bad. It let me down. I don't think it was completely horrible, but it definitely wasn't to the caliber that it could be. I was not happy with it though. Excuse me. Another movie that I was really upset about is Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
I had real high hopes for Thor, because Ragnarok was great.
Yes.
It had Taika Waititi as a director. Love and Thunder was not Love and Thunder. Ragnarok was great, but Love and Thunder had a lot left to be desired, and left too much to be desired. That's the phrase. It left too much to be desired, and fun little fact, you guys can look this up on your own. Chris Hemsworth mentioned that he doesn't want to work with Taika like that no more, and I get it, because too much. It seems like they're making Thor the butt of the joke in almost every movie lately. Endgame, they made him fat, and what's it called, Love and Thunder, they made him I guess a little bit of a hippie and whatnot. They gave him his stuff back, but
he's a Nancy, bro.
Yeah, exactly. He's a Nancy. So what's his name? Hemsworth is not happy with how it was written, and he says that he would return to reprise Thor with a new director, or if the story was rewritten to where it gives Thor some meaning again.
Well,
Thor is not something to be laughed about in the comics. So let's move the comedic parts aside, and actually put it to what it's supposed to be.
Well, look at what he started as. He was a hard-nosed prince All he wanted to do was fight, right? Fell in love, but still wanted to fight to defend the people he loved. But he wasn't known for telling jokes and being funny. Even in Ragnarok, Thor was not being funny. Hulk's situational stuff around Thor is what caused that movie to have comedy in it. You know?
I agree.
And that part, playing the two characters off of each other is fine. But making Thor try to be funny, I don't think it works. And that's not to say Chris Hemsworth can't be funny, because he can. The character itself should not be funny.
I agree. I guess Taika fed off the wrong energy and got the and try to center comedy around Thor itself. Natalie Portman's portrayal as Thor Jane Foster, I think it's probably one of Natalie Portman's worst performances on camera, and that was very evident visually. Yeah. She was not into it, so that was disappointing. That was very disappointing. And then the movie Thor itself, and by the way, we're talking spoilers and whatnot. If you haven't seen it, it's been out for a while. It's not really spoilers at this point. So
it came out earlier this year.
Yeah, so the thumbnail's gonna have spoilers if you haven't seen it. But sorry again for the allergies. But the thing that I'm not gonna lie, I was into Thor a little bit right when he got into the arena where all the gods were, and Zeus knocked the clothes out. I'm like, that wasn't really necessary.
Yeah, agreed.
And then the goats were funny. I like the goats. I have no problems with the goats.
The goats were great.
I started losing it. When the kids got Thor's power, and they were beating everything up
with a teddy bear.
Yeah,
with a freaking teddy bear.
Why?
So dumb. I get Jane getting the power. She had Mjolnir.
One more time.
I understand Jane getting the power because she actually had Mjolnir.
Yeah.
But the kids did not need the power.
Yeah, it took that flavor off for me, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it here, because it is what it is. They never really made sense, or they never really mentioned it in the movies, how the rock giants, or whatever Korg is, how they're made or born. So to throw that, in there just like that, I mean, they try to make they try to give the foundation in the middle of the movie, but I think it gave it a little bit too late. It should have been done in another movie if you're going to roll with that. But that also was something that, for me, lost a little bit of fervor for the movie. Those two main points.
It'd be different if he was looking for a mate during one of the movies, but they just threw it out there. Right,
exactly. I'm like, why? If you're, I think that part was botched. And again, I have no problems with how the rock giants are born.
No, that's no issue.
It's all in the organization of the movie.
Yeah, the presentation
and the franchise. Exactly. It's all in the organization of the movie and the franchise itself, not how it's done. So, like what you said, Matt. If they had done it where he was looking for a mate and then they kind of rolled it in there a little bit, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
For them to do that. But it wasn't. It wasn't like that. I think it was just the talking head that mentioned it, and then all of a sudden his body forms, and we see two Korgs. I call them Korgs because I really don't know what they are in the end. So it just botched up the organization of the movie, in my opinion. So that's and then the last part, the daughter of Gore, right? The daughter of Gore. Thor adopts the daughter. I know that Thor has a daughter in the Marvels, in the comics.
Yeah.
Maybe this is that part of the organization for the movie where instead of him having a biological daughter, it's an adopted daughter. I don't know. Question marks. But yeah. So those are my opinions on Thor: Love and Thunder. Do you have any more before we move on to the next one?
No. We skipped a couple if we're talking about after Endgame though.
Yeah, I know. I'm just picking.
Okay.
I guess.
Because I was gonna say, because we also had Eternals, Black Widow, and The Legend of the Ten Rings. Which
I saw The Legend of the Ten Rings.
One of them I actually enjoyed, but I don't know that they don't need to make a sequel for it. But anyways, did not enjoy Black Widow, did not enjoy Eternals, but Ten Rings is good, but I think it needs to get the Hulk treatment and only show up for Avenger movies or to be a side character in another movie.
Okay, I understand that. So it's getting a sequel?
I don't know. I'm just saying it doesn't need one.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. The Ten Rings was a great movie. Had a good story. If it's getting a sequel, I don't see why. Yeah, I agree with you. It should get the Hulk treatment and just appear in major movies instead of having their own movie sequels like that. I have not seen Black Widow because I've heard.
Don't waste don't waste your time. Don't waste your time.
I saw like a snippet and I didn't like what I saw.
Nah. Her sister in that movie, by the way, or her adopted sister, she stole the whole movie, by the way, and she was 10 times better than Black Widow.
Wow. Another thing. The other movie that you had mentioned.
Eternals.
Yeah, Eternals. I fell asleep. I fell asleep. I couldn't. I think it was poorly written. I really wanted to like the characters because we have Robb Stark from Game of Thrones. And then we have Angelina Jolie, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had her. And we had a couple of other good characters. I really wanted to like the movie. Oh, we had Jon Snow in it too. I forgot about him. Jon Snow was in it. Kit Harington, I think his name is. I forgot his name. I don't know. But yeah. So the cast was good. I think the actors did well with their roles. I just don't think that the story was well written.
Yeah, the story wasn't well written at all. I didn't care for the movie. There wasn't a single part that I sit here and go, "Oh, that stood out," you know.
Right, I agree.
Where on Legend of the Ten Rings, you know, it's not a well-known character. Shang-Chi is not a very well-known character outside of comic book fans, and there's parts in that movie that stands out, like where the dragon and he's got to fight it, you know, and deal with that, and he's riding it and everything. Oh man, that last scene was the last fight scene was beautiful, well done. You know, it goes back to the whole father versus son thing too, which I think is very interesting. It's always an interesting storyline to see kids have to take down their own parents when their parents get too much power.
Yeah. No,
so
right.
it plays into that. Shang-Chi deserves to be a character in the MCU, deserves to continue, but as I said, I don't think he needs a sequel. His story really wrapped up really well that I don't think they need to try to continue it. But with talking about all those, and we're going to skip Wakanda Forever right now. We've actually touched on all the movies after Endgame, except for the 2 Spider-Man movies. But I think it goes without saying, both Spider-Man movies were great, right?
What?
The
second Spider-Man movie.
Far From Home and No Way Home. They both came out after Endgame.
Okay, Far From Home. Far From Home. Remind me. Far From Home was with
Mysterio as the bad guy.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that one was great. That one was great. Hands down, that one was great. So the Spider-Man movies with let's talk about Tom Holland real quick as Spider-Man.
The greatest Spider-Man of all time.
I agree. And the Tobey Maguire fans are gonna cook us alive, and that's okay. You're right. But let's talk about the accuracy with how Holland plays with Holland's character and Maguire's character. Maguire, the thing that Maguire has going for him is nostalgia. He was one of the first Spider-Man that everyone grew up with.
Yeah.
Everyone liked it, and that's great. I grew up with Maguire. I liked Maguire. I think he plays his character great, but he's not the accurate version of Spider-Man. And Holland portrays it. Not only is he younger, he plays the teenager role better.
Yeah.
And he's exactly as he should be. He's a genius, but he's aloof. And he's just a kid. I think that the Far From Home was great. I think No Way Home was good. If I had to compare Far From Home with No Way Home, though, I think that the second one was better.
Really?
I think so. I felt slightly, just ever so slightly, underwhelmed. But it is not enough to say that it's not enough to knock it down to say it was a bad movie or anything. I just was slightly underwhelmed. And yeah, I think it could have been a little bit better. I think the thing that Marvel was writing on was Maguire reprising his role and everything. I think what did it for me, and this is something that you haven't seen Wakanda Forever, but Wakanda Forever did great versus how No Way Home did, is the advertising. We knew that Maguire was going to.
Well, if they'd have showed us that, oh my god, they'd have sold more tickets. They'd have sold more tickets.
I don't know, but for me, I think it's a little. I think you have to be smart with the advertising. I feel, because I think another reason why Thor: Love and Thunder didn't do it for me is because I think they gave away too much during the trailers. Too many trailers, too many sneak peeks, too many this and too many that. You basically gave the whole movie away.
Yeah, I don't know
From Home,
anything about Wakanda Forever because they didn't show anything.
And I think that's great because if you look at the cast, even beforehand, you saw that, what's his name? Michael B. Jordan was going to be in it, but you don't know exactly what.
Oh, Michael B. Jordan's gonna be in it? I didn't even know that.
Well, I mean, you didn't research it, but it's public knowledge.
I didn't
even before the movie came out, so it's not really spoilers. If it's public knowledge, if it's public to where you research the cast list, because the cast list is going to be there, I don't consider that a spoiler.
No, it's not a
spoiler. If you didn't research it, yeah. If you didn't, I'm not talking about you, but I'm speaking generally. If you didn't research it, then that's on you, right? But yeah, Michael B. Jordan's in it. But the thing that they did with Wakanda Forever is that they didn't tell you how he's going to be in the movie. You don't know if he's going to be doing this, if he's going to be doing that, or if he's coming back to life. You don't know any of that. And I think that they did a great job in hiding that. And that's what enticed all these ticket sales for Wakanda Forever. Versus Spider-Man, they did good in hiding some things, but I think that they gave away Maguire a little bit too early, in my opinion.
You just don't like Andrew Garfield, do you?
Oh yeah, I forgot he's there. Listen, Andrew Garfield.
I'll tell you exactly.
I don't like him as Spider-Man.
Well, here's the thing, okay?
Okay.
Tobey Maguire does a great job playing Spider-Man. Okay?
Yeah.
The Spider-Man part when he's got the suit
exactly.
On. But
he does a good job in playing. Yeah, I think we had this conversation.
Yeah, he's terrible at Peter Parker.
Yes.
Where when you
Garfield plays a good Peter Parker, but not a good Spider-Man.
Yep, and then when you get to Tom Holland, it's literally like you squished them together and you made the best of both worlds.
Right. I guess that might be it. I don't know. I just don't like. I just don't like Garfield like that. He's a great actor. His other works are great. I don't not like him. I do not like him as an actor, just in that role.
He hates him
like you
as an
said,
actor.
he plays a better Peter Parker than he does a Spider-Man, and I agree. We have Tom Holland, who just is the best of both best of both worlds. Jesus, and you match them all together, and you have, I think, the perfect Spider-Man.
Yeah, agreed. So, honestly, though, we're saying the fall of the cinematic universe, right? However, now this is where we got to look at it if we're looking at a fall. So, not counting Wakanda Forever right now, which will be a future episode talking about just Wakanda Forever in the Black Panther series after I've seen it. But just talking about the 7 movies after Endgame. We've said that 3 out of the 7 of them are actually decent. So how big of a fall are we actually looking at if you want to compare it to the movie? But then you got to go back and compare it to previous phases as well. You know what I mean?
Correct. Because you have to take into account the story writing of the previous phases, and not to mention what's to come.
Because if you just go back to Phase 3, let's go back to Phase 3, the one directly before Phase 4, and we're going to put Far From Home in Phase 4 just for the sake of argument here, okay?
Okay.
You got Civil War.
Great movie.
Doctor Strange.
Okay.
The first one. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
It was okay.
Homecoming, Spider-Man.
Great.
Thor Ragnarok.
Great.
Black Panther.
Awesome.
We'll skip the Avengers movies because they're obviously great.
We all know that they're awesome.
Yeah. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
And then Captain Marvel.
Okay. I don't like Brie Larson.
I don't either.
But
the movie was good.
The movie was good. I will give it. I can't front on the movie. It was a good movie.
All right. So
it was good.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies. So it's on par with the same number, 7, 8, right?
Uh-huh.
And the only one, or none of them, did you say were terrible? Like we talked about.
None of them, no.
Like we talked about with Black Widow, Eternals, Love and Thunder, Multiverse of Madness. All of those are bad. So I do
and then
feel
let's
like...
not talk about even Phase 2, which I don't think there's... Let's go over Phase 2.
Alright, Phase 2. You got Iron Man 3, which is
awesome.
It's the weakest Iron Man movie, in my opinion.
But it's still... It is, but it is awesome.
And then, in my opinion, this is the worst movie they've made as of this date. Thor: The Dark World.
I enjoyed Thor. I enjoyed the Dark World.
I did not, but...
I like the darker tinge to the Dark World. It wasn't the best. I think that of the of the 4 Thor movies, I think it's the weakest. But it wasn't bad. I
think it's worse than Love and Thunder.
What?
I think it's worse.
No,
yeah.
Dude. It's a hard disagree on that. It's a hard disagree on that. I disagree hard on that. Love and Thunder was god awful, atrocious.
I think Dark World's worse.
I don't know. No, I don't know how you come up with this. Guys, give us your comments. Give us your opinions. Who do you think is worse, Thor: Love and Thunder or Thor: The Dark World?
Yeah, I would love to know.
Yeah, I would love to know too. I think that Thor: The Dark World had a darker tone to it. I like the darker tone to it. It was definitely the weakest of the 4 Thor movies. It was okay. It wasn't bad. Love and Thunder was atrocious. Bad. If there's a category beyond awful, it was there.
So you're saying Love and Thunder is the weakest of the 4?
I guess so. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. You're right. Thanks for correcting me on that.
No, you're good. I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
Right. No, thanks for correcting me.
So then, go ahead.
That means that the Dark World. If I were to rank the 4 Thor movies, then
it's Ragnarok.
Ragnarok number 1. Number 2 is the first one. Number 3 is the second.
And that's where we got to flip ours.
Yeah, and then Love and Thunder is god awful. And this is my tier list for the Thor.
So then the next movie in Phase 2 was Winter Soldier, Captain America: Winter Soldier, which was amazing.
Awesome.
I think honestly, Winter Soldier is better than Civil War.
I can argue that.
I think that's the best Captain movie.
I think that's a good argument.
And then Guardians of the Galaxy. And then skipping Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, the original Ant-Man, which I thought was it was brilliant, well written.
Wait, so yeah, that's right. Civil War is a Captain America movie.
Civil War is a Captain America movie, yeah.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting because of all the Avengers in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a Captain America.
And there we go again, guys. Besides The Dark World, and that's my opinion personally, the other ones we both agree are amazing movies. So
and let's talk about Phase 1.
Iron Man.
Awesome.
Hulk. Which I enjoy. I enjoyed the Hulk.
I enjoyed the Hulk.
Seeing the Hulk fight Abomination.
Yeah.
And I wish that Hulk could have gotten a second movie where we could have seen the leader, which is actually the guy that at the end he gets the blood and the chemicals dripping on his forehead, and his brain or his cranium starts looks like it's shifting. He becomes one of Hulk's greatest villains, known as the Leader. I wish we could have seen that on screen. And
maybe it's incoming.
Oh, that'd be amazing. And then we've got Iron Man 2.
That's my favorite Iron Man movie. So awesome.
Me too. And then the original Thor.
It was great.
And then Captain America: The First Avenger.
That was great.
And then you got the Avengers, which was obviously amazing. So
all the Avenger movies are great. Yeah. So yeah.
Going down the list, if you look at it though, there's only a few in Phase 1, 2, and 3 that we're saying, and maybe I would never watch that again. But then you get to Phase 4, Black Widow I'm never going to touch, Eternals I'm never going to touch, Multiverse of Madness I'm never going to touch, and Thor: Love and Thunder. You're literally talking about 4 movies in recent times.
Just pure, in recent, they're just pure shit.
You know, and it's definitely a fall from what they used to be.
I agree.
You know, and it's not just the characters, because no one knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were unless you read comic books before those movies came out. And those movies still did well.
I think it also has to do with the directors. Okay? Star writers and directors. We had the Russo brothers directing Civil War and most of the Phase 3 and 4 movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are obviously great movies. The ones that the Russo brothers touched.
Well, James Gunn did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. That's also yeah, and the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, I'm not a big fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy as a superhero entity, you know? But the movies themselves, the first one was better than the second one in my opinion, but they were both great movies regardless. The story was still well written. To life, and you know, even Chris Hemsworth was happy for that brief moment, and then Love and Thunder happened. And then we have, I forgot the director's name or it was Ryan C for Wakanda Forever. Did a great job. It has to do with the directors as well, I feel.
I agree. I agree 100%.
So this is our opinions. This is our opinions on what we call the decline of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What phase are we in? Phase 5, right?
No, we haven't even finished Phase 4 yet.
Okay, so we're still in Phase 4. Phase 4 is just turning out to be complete dog water.
No, I'm sorry. Wakanda Forever finished Phase 4.
So we're about to start Phase 5.
Yep, with Quantum Mania.
With Quantum Mania. We'll have to see how Quantum Mania is. Hopefully Phase 5 ends up being better than Phase 4. Hopefully.
And then it goes straight into Guardians 3, which could be really good because that's basic. They're going to be chasing Gamora. They're going to be trying to get her back into the fold, you know, which I think is an interesting story.
Yeah, I agree. So But those are our opinions. We've outlined the movies, how they were, with each phase. Give us your opinions in the comments below, which you guys thought was the better phase. If you guys have your opinions on which is the better Thor movie between The Dark World and Thor: Love and Thunder, drop that as well. We're very interested to see your thoughts on it. You already know our stances on it, but we're very much interested in seeing your stances on it as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it from what we have, unless you have anything else to say on the decline of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I do not.
All right, so that pretty much wraps up this episode. Again, this is episode 2. If you haven't already, drop a thumbs up, make it turn blue, subscribe to this channel, and as well, if you'd like to, it would be great if you subscribe to our regular channels as well. We are primary Pokemon content creators, where we do Nuzlockes and playthroughs and whatnot. We do stream regularly with Scarlet and Violet. We do have other contents as well, so definitely check that out if you are interested in that kind of stuff. That being said, if there's nothing else, that was it for today, and we'll see you guys next time. Adios.
Love you, nerds.